All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you all are doing fantastic. Well, today we're getting started with a few of our guests not here today. They had a couple of diligences or things that got him stuck, but we got Bruno and myself. So, hey, Bruno, how are you today?
I'm alright, man. You okay?
Fantastic. We're missing Kara and Irina. Hope both of you can join me there later or next time. So let's get started. How's your week been, brother?
It's been alright actually. I made always networking and like on collaborations and all sorts of stuff. Growing my email list and doing all kinds of stuff, which is important. And yeah, really just doing my thing.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so today we're gonna be a topic to growing everybody's thing. We're having web development trends that create websites that convert. Because as a business owner, wouldn't you say that conversions are very important?
Absolutely. Honestly, like I think obviously conversions are important to book calls or just to for it's like you call leads, right? You got warm leads, you got hot leads, right? And so each conversion you make is a lead, right?
Yeah,
Then it's up to you to really see how well you can nurture them.
that is right. So let's talk about one of the taboo topics that people or business owners have usually, when they're building their website. So let's go here. It's a little better, more comfortable since it's just the two of us. So let me put the music back on. I don't know what happened with the music. There we go. Should be sounding. I don't know. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so one of the things that most business owners say is, okay, I either don't have a website and I don't want it because I don't see the value on it, or you have the ones that I have a website and I don't see the value on it. So, which one of them two do you think is the right spot on being? I have a website and I don't see the value, or I don't have a website and I don't see the value?
Well, um, if I had to choose, right? Like if I had to choose, like if I was obliged to choose between the both, I'd say having the website and not seeing the value. But obviously, having the website, there's value in having a website, right? But a website that doesn't convert, in my personal opinion, only my opinion, is a useless website, right? It doesn't really satisfy its purpose, right? Um, and yeah, it's I figure that yeah, right. So having a website and knowing there's value, because at the end of the day, it's like, why would you have something if you don't really see the value in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you want to have something and you see the value in it, but like maybe you found another way, right? For example, I'll tell you, John, right? Like I'm a big landing page lover,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I told you, it's like I wouldn't mind having a website, but my landing page um, converts just fine for me. um, because when I give people my socials, not only they can follow me on the socials, but at the same time they go to my landing page and they check everything like that they want, right? Now, obviously, having a website is very important. Do not mistake what I'm saying here. Having a website is important and is relevant, right? Because you can have your own bios and everything, and you can have different call to actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's kind of my opinion.
Okay. It is a very valid opinion because I agree with you. You have a website that doesn't convert. Why do you even want it? That makes no sense. It's just a waste of money. But here's one of the things that it's an issue most of the time. people don't understand how or what are the tools that they need to make that website convert. So, and that's what we're going to be talking about. What things do you have to do to make a website convert? So, for that, we're going to start talking about the first tool. Okay, and one of the things that you want to keep in mind, okay, when you're building your website. Do you know what a CMS is just by the letters?
CMS.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, not at all.
No? Okay, let me introduce you all. A CMS is nothing more than a content management system. Okay, so what is that? What is a content management system? So there are two different types of websites. You have the static website, which is what you're seeing is all you get, or you have the website that can actually pull new data or collect new data as much as you want. So one of the tools that I strongly advise every one of my clients is to having a CRM. Do you know what a CRM is?
Yes.
Okay, it's a customer relationship management software. So if you have a CRM, you can actually connect that to your website, and it can provide forms for them to fill in, and you can go ahead and connect with people that are interested in your products and services. Most people fail at that. They just have a page, no forms. Okay? And then if they do have forms, they fall in the other category. Okay, I have a fantastic form, but you mentioned something really important a minute ago, which is a call to action. So if you don't have a call to action on your form, how can people be inclined into leaving you their information? Because we all see a form, but let's be honest. How often do you really want somebody that you don't know calling you or connecting with you?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And that leaves us on the space of, okay, so if I don't want somebody that I don't know to connect with me, then how do I get them to connect with me? I'm gonna go ahead and put one of my websites as an example. That way you can see how you can ask them nicely to connect with you, because that's the biggest thing. Asking people to properly connect with you, it's important. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my page. Okay, as you can see, here's the page. I give them a little bit of information about who we are, what we do, and then claim a free class. Wouldn't you say that is a strong reason why to go ahead and click if you're really interested in learning how to dance?
Yeah. I mean, for example, I mean, it's as long as it's well presented and the information is nice, because obviously, um, I figure that, like, for example, I wouldn't say it's hard to convert people. I'd say that, like, majority of people, they're always looking for a reason to not buy. Unless you're very established within your own niche, and that happens with everybody, by the way. Okay, that happens with everybody, but that's not because people don't like what you have to offer. It's because a lot of times people are always looking for a reason to not buy, so they can say to themselves, okay, let me keep this money, or let me go somewhere else, or it's not that perfect, or so I figure that, like, a lot of people, it's important that what's presented, it's well presented, right? Like, the information is clear, the call to actions are clear, the titles are clear, the headlines are clear, the visuals are clear, the colors are clear, right? Because it's very easy for a person to just completely back away, and right. So yeah.
No, I'm listening. It is important, everything you're saying, that the pictures are clear, that the content is clear. But also, you see, I tell them a little bit about myself and give them an offer. Hey,
Absolutely.
if they want to take it, great. If not, keep going. You want to learn more about us? Here's more about information. Here are more reasons why to choose us, and then you can view our school or classes or upcoming events, what we believe on to make sure that we're on the same page, because everybody wants to work with people that they know, like, and trust. If you meet those three criterias, people will connect with you. Okay? So here's more information, and then get inspired. What do we believe on? Are who we believe are people that have the same roots that we have. So we have editores, okay? So things that people can connect. If you're somebody that is in the dance industry, you will know these three names for sure. So, and then how to connect with us. Get in our newsletter. So, and then if you want to know more, okay, fantastic. Let's go to resources. Oh, okay. Who we are. Boom. And then you have the tapestry of salsa, the people who influence. Get a little more knowledge. Get history. And in your case, get history about what industry you're on, so people can connect with you. Like, for example, as a self-love coach, tell me one person that you absolutely like and you would like to be like that person.
So one person that I liked and
The same person. It has to be the same person that you will like and you would like to have your business just like him or her in your industry.
it would have to be the almighty Tony Robbins, obviously. Obviously he's the face of life coaching, and right. There are many motivational speakers, but Tony Robbins is the face of life coaching. Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. So, let's go ahead and take a quick look at his strategy. You see, gives you how to connect with him, how to be a part of what he's doing. Gives you a very good reason to connect with him. Life is extraordinary. Unleash yours. Meaning, do you have already what you want? If not, look, start with me. You see, is not that marketing agencies do this because it doesn't work. Marketing agencies do this because it works.
Absolutely.
So, as a self-love coach, what would you tell me that is the most important thing about you and your business? Like, what is the one thing that sets you apart from every other self-love coach that you can provide to your customers? A value item that you can provide to your customers.
Well, so I'm going to talk a little bit about general and a little bit about my own experience, and how I can shape that up towards my own programs and everything, right? So
No, that's the thing. You see, I want you to focus on something. Give it to me in 2 sentences.
2 sentences, okay. Authentic connection.
Authentic connection. So 2 words.
I put it into words.
Okay, perfect. The whole reason why I tell you to put it in something concise is because, as you can see, they use images to connect.
Yes.
There's not a lot of blah, 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 blah. It's not much. One, like you did mention, he's super well established. There's very few people, unless you live under a rock, you don't know who Tony Robbins is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you see, he has people of all walks of life: Serena Williams, Conor McGregor, Maria Menounos. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering names. Mark Benioff, and they're talking about what he has done. What is Tony Robbins doing in this second?
I mean, Tony is with all those testimonials and all those photos, is really invoking, kind of his authority, right? by saying that I dealt with high level athletes and high level business owners who deal with a lot of pressure every day. So you know obviously, like, testimonials are very important, but again, as a life coach, it's also about like the connection, whether if you're a self-love coach, like whatever industry in life coaching that you have, or modality, right? NLP or anything else, right? It's really always about like the connection, right? And when you have a landing page or a website, like I truly believe that um, a website that converts, a landing page that converts, is also a page that speaks credibility by its own. Like, you can see what is there, it's clear, the words are clear, the images are clear, the emotions that you want to invoke on people are clear. It happens, people react the way that you want them to react, people smile the way that you see them smiling with a certain image, with certain something, right? I feel like when that strategy is clear, I figure that it just converts, it works, right? It works, and it's like I said, John, right? Like, it's supposed to work.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that it's supposed to work. It's just that there's a specific order, and the whole reason why I want to give you this example of why is it that he has those testimonials is much more on what you said, showing proof that it doesn't matter which walk of life you're on, there is help. You just gotta reach the right person, you know? And that is the difference. I mean, for example, somebody that reaches out to me, they know that I'm gonna find a solution for their business. On the marketing side, on the web development, SEO, I will provide them a solution according to what they can afford. I will find something that would actually help them grow. Now, that is the importance of having those testimonials. People can actually testify that you are good at what you are. And you see how each one, or you saw how each one of those pages, not those pages, those sections on his website, on his homepage, they all have a button. They all have a button. They all have something to click on. And that is one of the most important things. You want to make it interactive for people, and you want to be able to try to collect data, because that is the other thing, that is the other mistake that most people have. As a business owner, they believe that their website is supposed to make them sales. Up to a point. And here's the reason why. If you as a business owner have not developed that connection with the other person, based on the 3 rules: know, like, and trust. If you have not built a connection, do they know you?
I mean, for example, I mean, you have you have direct connection, indirect connection. Indirect connection is like, I heard about you, somebody talked to me about you, somebody directed me to you. And then, right, the direct connection is when you actually connect with a person face to face, or you connect with a person like by Zoom or by video call, and you see the person and talk with the person, and you see how the person reacts and talks and speaks, right, and acts. You see their body language, the non-verbal and the verbal, right? But obviously, to get to your point, obviously not, right? So it's very important to connect, right? And that's why, like, it's like, it works much more to say like, yeah, sure, let's meet up and talk, right? And then you're like, so by the end of it, like, here's my website, give it a follow, or like, give it a look, see what you like, or if you're interested, sign up for this, sign up for that. It's absolutely free, right?
Yeah, and you're talking about something very important, is when you're actually meeting somebody in person.
Right, exactly.
I'm talking about when people search self-love coach online.
Mm-hmm.
Studies show, and you can check those studies, 97% of people which is a huge number, wouldn't you say that? 97% of people don't pass to the second page of Google or whatever browser they're using to figure who they're gonna pick. They usually pick from that first page. So
Yeah.
if your business is not on that first page, do you have a chance to even connect with that person with your website?
Yeah, absolutely not. It's a 3%. It's not a lot of people.
There you go.
It's
And that
basically
3%,
impossible.
yes, and that 3% you will have to, like you said, work really hard to connect with them, meet them somewhere, get into a Zoom call, do something with them in order to have that connection. And that's where the website power comes in. Having an optimized website that would actually get you to that first page. And now you're doing what you're saying. While you're asleep, your website's working. So now you see the correlation why it's so important to have a great design and a great content. So then it can work while you sleep. And then next day you wake up and you have people that want to know more about you. If you give them the right information, people are more likely to give you their contact information and say, you know what, I really like what you're saying. Let me connect. Let me see if actually my time and my hard-earned money is worth to pay you to give me the service. Right? So with that said, as a self-love coach, what would be the most important three things, meaning three words, maximum two each, that you can do for a person? Because you mentioned about connection, authentic connection. That is your main thing, your brand. But three things that you can do for a person that will help you get into that authentic connection.
Okay, so 3 steps, right? Which
It
is
doesn't have to be 3 steps. It could be three different things. Like, for example, let me give you, and the reason why I'm giving you examples, because this is the way that I would like people to start thinking when they're thinking about their website.
Mhm.
You see how Tony Robbins, let me show you back again. We all know that he's a personal coach, a business coach. He has so many, but you see, each section, he has it separated by a specific subject: mindset,
Mhm.
wealth, health, relationship, business, leadership, happiness. He coaches on all those things. But you see how he has them in one location, but they're all separate. They're all separate topics. So your main goal is authentic connections.
Mhm.
What three things, maybe from this pool or from your own pool, what type of coaching will get you to an authentic connection, but on three different types of how would you diversify your market? That would be the best thing.
So when I was saying like 3 different steps, it's 3 different things. Each step is different, right? So
Okay.
step number one would be, like help a person become more aware, of what they need to change within themselves. A lot of people, they, storm through life. And in this case, I coach women and I help women, right? So in this case, a lot of women, like they roam through life without really being aware of the things they're doing, right? They have intrusive thoughts that they end up believing, because they believe that, if I'm having those thoughts, it's for a reason, and it is, but it's not the reason, that they believe it is, right? The reason is not to believe them. The reason is to challenge them, right? And so sometimes, a lot of women, they submit so much to so many things within themselves, by the way, internally, that they completely forget that they actually have a choice. They can challenge a negative thought, they can challenge a negative reaction, they can challenge a negative feeling, right? So so really becoming aware, that's step number one, really becoming aware of what needs to be changed, um, and how we can change it. Then number two is the embodiment. So the embodiment is very important, because what a lot of people don't understand is that when we are embodying, like we're always embodying something. We're always embodying a version of ourselves, whether if it's, the negative version, the positive version, the lazy version, the proactive version, the, like the confident version, the insecure version of ourselves. We're always embodying a version. Obviously, we always want to embody the best version, right? Filled with positivity, wealth, and abundance and success, right? And so it's really, working through it, and truly, like helping to understand the value that they have, and how can they truly become more confident day by day, um, by embodying that version, right? And then number three is, I call that the disrupting part, right? Which is you're loving yourself unconditionally, right? Um, and so that's when when we love ourselves unconditionally. So there's no internal or external that can truly um, stop us from thinking, like that can kind of manipulate us, affect us in a bad way, right? Learning how to truly detach ourselves from, whatever outcome that can happen in life, or whatever society is doing, whatever peer pressure, whatever external or internal pressure. Just learning how to truly detach and becoming magnetic towards everything. And I truly believe that's how you become authentically fulfilled. Why? Because number one, you're aware of your problems. Now you know there's a solution. There's hope, right? There's faith, right? There's like, oh wait, like I actually can be fixed, right? Also, I mean something. I'm not a monster. I'm not a freak. That's number one, right? Then step number two, I can do this. I'm capable of doing this. I am doing this. I never thought I could do it anyways. And then step number three is I feel super powerful within my own being, right? I'm fulfilled within me because I have myself, right? And I rather have myself than have a lot of people but not have myself, right? And that's important for men and women, but in this case we're talking about women. um, it's very crucial, right? So to recap, it would be step number one would be like awareness, and then number two would be embodiment, and then number three would be really disrupting and detaching ourselves from
It,
what
it,
we.
and exactly that is the whole reason why I help business owners think differently, and I'll explain why. Every time I told you that they should be completely separate things, they should be completely separate things that help you towards the same goal. And here's the reason why. You mentioned, I didn't catch the first one really. You mentioned about intrusive thoughts and this and that. And I think that those should be, here should be your real three topics as a marketing professional. Intrusive thoughts should be your, if you notice that people that are in your that looking for coaches in your industry, one of the things is that they want to get better at is dealing with intrusive thoughts. You shouldn't sell them a package. Why? For example, when was the last time, tell me a dessert that you love, that you enjoy so much that you'll eat it every day?
Mango mousse.
Mango mousse. Wouldn't you say that after 6 months of eating mango mousse for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you'll stop liking it?
6 months, a week.
There you go. So when you try to sell people a package, the main thing that people think is like, how long am I gonna be doing this? Is this gonna be like something for my entire life? And that's why Tony Robbins is so wise and smart. He breaks it down. All of them are gonna get them to have a fantastic life, right? A different kind of life. But wouldn't you say that in order to have that amazing kind of life, you have to change your mindset?
Yes.
Don't you have to change your wealth? Because let's be honest, wealth and health, they're both important, but don't they go hand in hand? Okay, next one is relationships. Wouldn't you say to have a fulfilled life, if you already have the wealth and you already have the health and you have a great man, wouldn't you like to share with somebody? And wouldn't you like to have a cash cow that gives you the money that you need so you don't have to worry about money anymore?
Absolutely.
And wouldn't you have to have the leadership so you can lead all those people in those businesses and work 4 hours for your entire week and never work again?
Hmm.
And wouldn't that lead you to happiness?
Yes.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. See how he broke it down? And this is why I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. This is what I believe you should market yourself as. Number one, let me help you, since you're dealing with women, let me help you stop believing those intrusive thoughts and acting upon it. So intrusive thoughts should be the word. The second one, you mentioned about embodiment. Okay? Let me help you get the confidence back that you lost. And the last one, love unconditional. You see how, although they all three together will get you to what you want, they all separate you can actually cover much more people, because
Hmm.
people will get identified more with one or two words than with a step-by-step program like a triage program.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
that's where I always tell, okay, think that you're gonna build something, but for all the people in your market. And like you did, which is the smart thing to do, is create a plan for them. So when they finish one, they move to the next one, and then they move to the next one. You as a professional, you're teaching them how to get the best part of themselves, while at the same time they're actually getting your whole system, but they feel the accomplishment. They completed one thing 100%, and now they feel even better because now they see results. And guess what? Those super happy clients are gonna say, hey, Bruno, help me with my confidence. Because let's be honest, there's people that wanna start with intrusive thoughts. There's people that may want to start with confidence, and there's people that may need to start with unconditional love. Although they all need all three of them, wouldn't you say that? Wouldn't you like to take them where they at and know where you believe they should be?
Of course. And look, John, you're absolutely correct. And you mentioned about something like very important, which is like you said it like just now. You gotta meet them where they at, right? You somebody cannot be talking to you about potatoes and you're talking about carrots. You know what I mean? Like, right? So it's like yeah, exactly. So like, for example, if somebody needs help with their confidence, then you help them with their confidence, right? Like, right? So you try to address the most important issue now, and then in the future, when the plan ends, you present them the option, and you're like, look, um, I have this, I have this. I am so proud of your growth, and you grew so much, and you changed so much, and you believed in yourself. I noticed some patterns and some behaviors that you had, but that wasn't really the topic that we were talking about. And I really wanted to focus and get to where you wanted to go, and really provide on what I promised to deliver and what you paid for. Would you like to hear me out on those little patterns, or would you like to hear me out on this, right? And then if they say yes, they say yes, and then you explain. And then from then on, like, you try to bring them on board again. And if they say no, then they say no, and you just ask them to recommend it to other people. Or do you know, like, any other two, three, four, five women who would like to who you think, for example, would benefit from being helped with your confidence, right?
That is right. So you get a higher chance of getting more referrals working that way. But the main thing is, you know how your message now got is the same message, but it got split into sections, which is what we're going to be talking next. The next thing that we're going to be talking is about progressive web apps, or PWAs. Have you ever heard of that? Do you know what it is?
PWAs, no.
Mhm. Okay. A PWA is just as simple as this. Is a website that you can access it whether you're connected to the internet or not. Okay? For example, do you use Google Docs?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So with Google Docs, you can access it offline, and then whenever it connects to the web again, it will update the document. In you never lost track of anything. That is the easiest way to explain. But truly, for a PWA website, you will have every time you connect, the website will download X amount of content. It will stay on your phone, your laptop, whatever. But the idea is that people will have a few links that they can always click, and they will always be connected with something. And the second the person connects back to the internet, they're back again, and you pick up all that information. Wouldn't that be awesome when people are, outside of a Wi-Fi connection, they can still go to your website and find something interesting to read about your newsletter, your blog?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, what will be one of the things? Do you have a blog or not yet? It's
Uh,
coming soon.
yeah. Well, it'll definitely come soon. The only blog I ever had was when I was 13.
Okay, okay. So, but what I was gonna say is, wouldn't it be cool that if you have a blog, people will be able to connect to at least 2 to 3 articles on that blog and have something new to read about your business or what you do?
Absolutely. Like a little newsletter. Like with tips and beautiful titles and things that the, the people that follow you want. Really.
Yes. And what does that create for you as a business owner?
It creates rapport with the people, and not only that, it creates the word here is rapport, connection, and everything. But it's not just that. It creates, like, I believe one thing that I'm gonna say, and you don't have to agree with it, obviously, right?
Hmm.
But I don't want to say like dependability, because that word can be perceived in different ways.
Hmm.
But what I want to say is that it creates, um, like, you want to be the highest authority to your clients. Like, you want your clients to go to you, right?
Hmm.
And read your stuff and really take it serious, really like dive deep in it, right? And that's what it creates, right? Um, and I figure that like that's super important. So report, connection, but also that sense of I want to come back here and I want to read more of this because
Yes, and that's what I
because
was gonna say. The word that you might have been looking for is it creates a relationship.
yeah, more or less,
It's
yes,
a relationship.
absolutely.
And that's the thing. Now they know about you. If you create the relationship, for sure they like you, and if you give them enough good content, guess what? They're gonna get to the third phase. Trust you.
Hmm. Absolutely.
And at this point, have they ever met you in person?
Sorry.
And at this point, have they ever met you in person, or they only know you
Well,
by the website?
well, that's the thing. It's like, for example, like for example, if you meet them in person before they meet you when they like you, they're like, I believe, like 10 times more likely to, like, days ago, like one day after, right? You send them an email saying it was a pleasure meeting you, like, I'd like to show you my newsletter, dive deep in, and really take advantage of all the tips there, and people will read it because people in their back of the minds, maybe they don't remember much of what you said, but they totally remember how you made them feel, right? And so it's always how you make them feel that makes them most memorable, because the emotions are still there.
That is true, but I'm talking from the point of view that step one, they went to self love coach on Google or any other browser. Bless you.
Sorry.
No worries, brother. And they find you, and then they see that you have great content. At that point, more than likely, they have never met you. They might not even be in the same country you are.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's the beauty about the website, that you don't have to physically go and meet somebody by person if you have it properly optimized. Let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest. Nobody can tell you, I'm going to put you on the first page in 6 months. And if they do that, they're doing either something that is going to hurt you long time or later on, or more than likely they're lying to you and they're just going to take your money. And that's unfortunately what happens most of the time. And that's why people don't believe many digital marketing agencies or SEO consultancy companies. So that is very important. So now that we know about CMS, we know about progressive web apps. Let's talk about designing accessibility and inclusivity. When I say that, designing accessibility and inclusivity, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Design access and inclusivity.
Accessibility and inclusivity.
Oh, accessibility and inclusivity.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. There's many ways that you can like talking about inside the website.
Just what's the first few things that pop into your mind when I say that?
Well, first thing that pop into my mind are, like, well, I feel like it has to do with the relationship that you have with the lead or even your clients, right? So I figure that what pops up in my mind is really, like how much how much do you actually, how do I say it, like like for example, like you don't really make the person that you're trying to bring under your under your own like awareness,
Mm-hmm.
left, you don't make them feel left out. Like
Okay,
the more they read, the more they feel like this is for me, like something like that.
so you're talking about report, right?
As well, kind of like it leads a lot to
Okay,
report.
so you're close. In here's the thing, you're close because yes, it will bring report. But when we say about accessibility and inclusivity, we're talking about the people that can't hear or can't see. Did you know that back in 2020, the United States Congress passed a law that every website should have um, old images? And I'm going to explain what an old image is in a second on the website, so people with special needs, such as they cannot see or hear, can actually get what's going on your website.
That's amazing,
Isn't
actually.
Yes, isn't that awesome? There are computers for the people that cannot see that wherever they hover with their mouse, it will talk to them and it will tell them what they're seeing, what is the mouse on top of. But if the
Oh, it's most
picture that you
technology.
have doesn't have the information, then for them there's nothing. It will only read whatever there are words.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest thing. Whenever you build a website, you will see a place that says alt images, ALT images, and there's where you're gonna fill in what you see on that picture. For example, we're gonna go back into Tony Robbins' website so you can understand what's going on. Do you see the image where he is in front of the crowd with his hands raised up and everything? So the alt image behind this should be either event, congress, seminar, and with people holding their hands up, being all happy and excited to see Tony Robbins. So that's pretty much what the alt image should read to the person, so they can create an image in their head of what's going on in that picture.
um is almost guiding them. In fact, is guiding them, right? And it's working, right? And it's all about collective consciousness, right? So like we're always all feeding out of each other's energies, right? You can have spiritual blocks, but you know these events are not for you to have spiritual blocks. They're for you to just let yourself really really dive into the abundance that's happening in that place, because let's face it, every single person there has the same objective as everybody else, right? Which is, I want to feel abundant, I want to feel wealthy, I want to feel happy, I want to feel fulfilled, I want to feel connected. I want it to work for me, and we're all going to do this together. right? I'm not doing this alone. I'm not lonely doing this, and I'm also, like, being guided by somebody who knows what they're doing, a great person as well. Somebody who's kind, respectful, understands, like, speaks well, is articulate with his words. Like a person who, right. And so that's very important. And so, the reason why obviously people follow Tony's words or anybody's words is because they, like you said, know, like, and trust, right? And yeah, right. And that's the thing, is like, the know, like, and trust technique is super, super, super important, because I figure that when a person knows you and likes you and trusts you, uh, in whatever they want it from the relationship they have with you, they're really gonna open, their hands, like, this is my heart, right? And I trust you, right? And they can, but that's the thing, is like, that doesn't happen until they trust you. Because, for example, me, right? If I put myself, instead of now putting myself in the coach place, but putting myself on the audience place, right? I may know somebody, I may like that person, but if I don't trust that person, I'm not gonna open my hands and put my heart to you, right? Only if I trust you, right? And right, so
That is right. That is very deep. But the idea with marketing is to not only touch that deep subject, because it has to make you either feel something or think something. That those are important things when you're connecting to connect with people. You makes you think or makes you feel. So you want to be as compelling as possible with your alt images. You want to be as compelling as possible with your content. You want to be as compelling as possible with the way you reach out to your clients, because let's be honest, everybody consumes media differently. There's people like me, I love to have an audiobook and the actual book on my hands. It's
okay.
And there's people that only like the audiobook, or there's people that only like the book. There's people like me. To me, it's blasphemy if I write on a book. To me, it's like, that's bad. And all my books, they look pristine, they look in a perfect condition.
Mhm.
And there's people the opposite, that they will make notes, they'll highlight out. By the end of their book is like, you can tell that they went through it. So to
Mhm.
everybody consumes content different, and therefore that's why I talk about content management system. How you're gonna connect, keep contact with people, how you're gonna receive the information, how you're gonna send it out. PWS, making sure your website, if possible, has some offline information every time they connect. And the last one, it was designing for accessibility and inclusivity. And do you think that everything that we covered today is something powerful that people should know whenever they're about to build their website, either themselves or with a professional?
Um, yes, absolutely, of course. I think it's very important. If somebody wants to invest on a good website, right? Because that's the thing. Like, for example, there are things in life that they're either one thing or the other. Like, there's no really normal, and that's what I believe. When it comes to, like, business conversions, like, you're either converting or you're not, right? You can have KPIs and you can have all these things, right? Key performance indicators, but
Mm-hmm.
right, if you don't achieve your KPIs, and you're not converting enough. Like, you put those KPIs there for a reason, right?
Yes,
Um,
and there, in order to reach those KPIs, you want to know what's driving your people, and
Absolutely,
why are you
and that's the thing.
trying.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, Johnny, and that's what I'm saying, right? It's like, that only happens if you have a good website, right?
Look, to be honest, I've seen really websites that they're so ugly. Graphic
Hmm.
design is like, oh, they were stuck back in the 90s,
Wow.
but they have amazing content. Like,
Hmm.
literally, I've gotten stuck on the content of those websites, and the content is so good that you're like, damn, this is a fantastic resource. This is exactly what I needed. So you can have a website that is not the most beautiful, and performs well. But notice
Okay.
this thing, the key thing is content.
Right.
If your content is good, you will reach the right target. Yes, if you can make it beautiful, you will reach a much bigger target. And then on
Mhm.
top of that, if you can make it great content, beautiful, and simple to understand, dude, you're unstoppable.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Like, I think that's really I figure that like that's really something that I kind of believe because I figure that like the thing with marketing is really like you want to simplify your message as much as you can and make it you know romantic, right, to the viewer, to your
You want to
potential
connect.
customer.
Yeah.
You want to connect, right? Exactly, right. You want the music to be nice and you want the visuals to be nice and everything, right? But you want to simplify it as much as you possibly can, right? You don't want it to say too much but says everything you really need to know,
Mhm.
and truly impacts you. And that's the beauty about marketing, right? Is that it doesn't have to be complex. It just has to have quality, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty about all this. That's why we come here into the E3 platform, into the Learn platform, not only to give you what we do, but actually teach you. We want to teach you things that even if you are not in the position to hire us for your services, you can actually understand where to get started. You know, because it's really tough out there to go ahead and put a website together, and very disheartening when you put a website together that you have worked really hard and somebody else comes and is like, you're missing this, this, and this, and this, and this, and you're like, oh my god, I did so much work, and now, and it's not because they're trying to be mean. It's just because if you don't know what you don't know and you don't get the help or training, then guess what's going to happen? You're not going to go really far. But now if you have the knowledge and you apply it, let me tell you, you're going to go very, very far. The main thing is look for the knowledge. Look for professionals that really are invested on seeing you win. Okay. So
Absolutely.
without further ado, Bruno, would you like to say the goodbye for today's show?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for everybody who was here. Obviously, we missed you, Irene and Kara. We so want to see you next time and join us next Monday, right? And yeah, thank you once again, Johnny, for this topic. Beautiful, very inclusive, accessible, and yeah, very nice, obviously. So, see you all next Monday.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.